You are holding a photograph of a family member, or perhaps a friend of a friend, and as your thumb brushes against the glossy paper, a wave of nausea rolls through your stomach that has nothing to do with what you ate for lunch. The people in the picture are smiling, the sun is shining, and to anyone else, it looks like a perfect moment captured in time. But you see something else entirely. You see a hairline fracture in the relationship that nobody else has noticed yet. You feel the heavy, suffocating grayness of a grief that hasn't happened yet, but is already hovering over their heads like a storm cloud waiting to burst. This is the specific burden you carry every single day. You walk through a world where everyone else is looking at the surface, admiring the paint and the polish, while you are cursed with the ability to see the termites eating the foundation. You do not want this information. You did not ask to know that your neighbor is having an affair just by the way he said hello to you this morning. You did not ask to know that your boss is terrified of failure just by the way she organizes her desk. It is a constant stream of data, a relentless intake of emotional truth that floods your system and leaves you feeling isolated in a crowded room. You have spent years trying to numb this sensation, telling yourself you are just being judgmental or negative, but deep down, you know it is not a judgment. It is a diagnosis. You are the radiologist of the zodiac, looking at the X-rays of the human soul and seeing the fractures that are invisible to the naked eye. This gift is terrifying because it means you can never truly be lied to, and for a human being who craves connection, realizing that almost everyone is lying to themselves or others is a lonely realization. I am Madame Tina. For more than 20 years, I have been the confidant to those who carry burdens too heavy for ordinary therapy. I have studied the charts of thousands of souls, tracing the ancient lines of destiny that separate the mundane from the magical. I have sat across from Scorpios who thought they were losing their minds, only to reveal to them that they were simply waking up to their power. I am here to tell you that the things you hide, the intensity you are so afraid will scare people away, is actually the source of your greatest strength. We are going to walk through the 10 secret gifts that you possess, gifts that go far beyond simple intuition. By the end of this discussion, you will understand why you are built this way and how to stop fighting your nature. Let's begin with the 10th gift, which is often the first one to manifest in childhood. We call this the gift of the human polygraph. This is not just about catching someone in a lie. It is about hearing the things that are not being said. When someone speaks to you, you are listening to 3 conversations at once. You hear the words they are saying, you hear the emotion they are trying to project, and then you hear the raw, unvarnished truth vibrating underneath it all. It creates a physical dissonance in your body when these things do not match. You might feel a ringing in your ears or a tightness in your chest when someone offers you a compliment that they do not mean. This gift makes social pleasantries agonizing for you. You struggle with small talk because small talk is almost always a fabrication. You crave the raw, ugly truth because at least the truth is real. This is why you are often accused of being suspicious or paranoid. People do not realize that you are reacting to the hidden dagger they have concealed behind their back. You see the motive before the action is taken. Moving deeper into your psyche, we find the 9th gift, which is the gift of the trauma eater. This sounds dark, and it is, but it is also a profound service to humanity. Have you ever noticed that strangers, animals, and children who are hurting gravitate toward you? You could be sitting on a park bench, minding your own business, and someone will sit next to you and unload the darkest story of their life. They tell you things they haven't told their priest or their spouse. This happens because your energy field acts as a filtration system. You have the innate capacity to take in heavy, toxic emotional waste, process it through your own ironclad heart, and neutralize it. You are a sin eater. People leave your presence feeling lighter, clearer, and healed, while you often walk away feeling exhausted and heavy, needing to sleep for 12 hours to reset. You assume this is a weakness, that you have poor boundaries, but in reality, you are performing energetic surgery. You are one of the few signs built with a constitution strong enough to touch darkness without being consumed by it. This leads us directly to the 8th gift, which is the gift of radical regeneration. You are the only sign in the zodiac that can endure a total system collapse and come back stronger. Most people, when they face a catastrophe, a divorce, a bankruptcy, a death, They are diminished by it. They carry the limp for the rest of their lives. You are different. You are designed to be destroyed. It sounds harsh, but it is your biology. You go through cycles where everything in your life burns to the ground, and in that fire, you do not die. You molt. You shed the skin of who you were. The person you were 5 years ago is essentially a corpse that you have stepped out of. This gift allows you to reinvent yourself completely. You can change careers, names, and entire belief systems. You are the phoenix. While others fear change, you eventually learn that destruction is just the cleaning process before the renovation. The power here is that you have no fear of rock bottom because you have built a summer home there. You know the way back up. The seventh gift is one that often makes people uncomfortable at dinner parties, but it is perhaps the most sacred of all your abilities. It is the gift of the transition guide. In our modern world, we are terrified of endings. We hide from death, we drag out breakups long past their expiration date, and we refuse to let go of versions of ourselves that stopped working years ago. You, however, have a backstage pass to the cycle of life and death. You are comfortable in the hospice of the soul. When a relationship is dying, you are the one who is brave enough to call the time of death. When a project is failing, you are the one who suggests pulling the plug so energy can be redirected elsewhere. You have a natural understanding that for something new to live, something old must die. This makes you an incredible support system during times of crisis. When everyone else is panicking because the structure is falling apart, you are calm. You are standing in the rubble, handing out water and making plans for the rebuild. You do not look away from the Grim Reaper. You nod at him because you understand he has a job to do. This gift allows you to help others navigate their darkest grief. You don't offer empty platitudes like, "It gets better." You sit in the dark with them and validate their pain, which is the only thing that actually heals. Next is the sixth gift, which is the gift of psychic cord cutting. This is a defensive capability that is unmatched in the zodiac. Most people linger in energetic entanglements for decades. They stay connected to toxic ex-lovers or abusive family members through guilt and memory. You possess an invisible sword. When you finally decide that someone is dangerous to your spirit, you have the ability to sever the emotional connection completely. It is not just ignoring them, it is deleting their energetic file from your system. We often call this the Scorpio freeze out. To the person on the receiving end, it feels like they have ceased to exist in your world. It is terrifying for them, but for you, it is a survival mechanism. This isn't pettiness, it is protection. You give chance after chance, more than people realize, but once the line is crossed, the gate comes down and is welded shut. This gift ensures that you preserve your sanctity. You understand that your energy is a limited resource and you refuse to let vampires feed on you indefinitely. This brings us to the fifth gift, the gift of sexual alchemy. We must speak about this frankly because the world often reduces your sign to a stereotype of lust. They say you are good in bed, but they miss the point entirely. The gift isn't about physical pleasure, it is about spiritual transmutation. When you engage in intimacy with someone you truly love, you are not just friction and skin. You are mixing souls. You use that space to heal the other person and to heal yourself. You can take a partner's insecurity, their fear, their weakness, and burn it away in the intensity of your union. You recharge your partner. They leave your bed feeling like they can conquer the world because you have literally transferred power into them. This is why people become so addicted to you. It is not just the technique, it is the energy transfer. You are feeding their soul. However, this gift is dangerous if used without caution. If you merge with someone who is toxic, you absorb their poison. This is why casual encounters often leave you feeling sick or hollow. You are not built for superficial friction. You are built for fusion. Now, before we descend into the final 4 gifts, which are the most potent and hidden of all, I need to speak to the part of you that feels like an alien on this planet. I know you have spent nights staring at the ceiling, wondering why you feel everything at a volume that seems to shatter the windows while everyone else is sleeping soundly. You are not broken. You are a high-voltage instrument living in a low-voltage world. If you are ready to stop apologizing for your intensity and start finding the others who speak your language, I want you to join us right now. Click that subscribe button. It is a small action, but it is a signal to the universe that you are accepting your nature. We are building a sanctuary here for the deep feelers and the truth seekers. Don't stay out in the cold alone. Come sit by the fire with us. The fourth gift is one that often causes conflict in your life until you learn to master it. It is the gift of the shadow mirror. You do not have to say a word to trigger people. Your mere presence is enough to agitate their demons. Have you ever walked into a room and had someone instantly dislike you for no apparent reason? That person was likely hiding a secret, a lie, or a part of their personality they are ashamed of. You act as a polished black mirror. When insecure people look at you, they do not see you. They see the things about themselves they are trying to repress. If they are jealous people, they will project jealousy onto you. If they are manipulative, they will call you manipulative. You force evolution on people who are trying to stay stagnant. This is a gift because you are a catalyst for growth. You break the illusions that keep people stuck. While this makes you the villain in their story temporarily, years later, those same people often look back and realize that meeting you was the turning point that forced them to get their act together. You are the storm that clears the air. Let's move to the third gift, which is the gift of the night traveler. Your power does not shut off when you close your eyes. Scorpios are famous for having vivid, prophetic, and lucid dreams. Your connection to the subconscious mind is a superhighway with no speed limit. While you sleep, you are often processing the emotions you suppress during the day, but you are also connecting with information from other realms. You might dream of a person you haven't seen in 10 years, and then they call you the next morning. You might dream of a specific danger and then avoid a route that would have led to an accident. This is your intuition working on the night shift. You are also capable of visiting others in their dreams. If you focus intensely on someone before you sleep, do not be surprised if they text you the next day saying you were in their dream. Your psychic footprint is heavy, and you leave tracks in the minds of those you are connected to. The second gift is the gift of willpower manifestation. Other signs manifest through thought or intellectual planning. You manifest through obsession and emotional desire. This is a raw, primal form of magic. When a Scorpio decides they want something, really decides it in their gut, it is almost impossible to stop them. You fixate. You focus your entire being like a laser beam on the outcome. You do not just hope for things. You hunt them. You are willing to outwait, outwork, and outsuffer anyone else to get the prize. This intensity acts like a gravitational well that bends reality toward you. Obstacles that would stop other people seem to melt away under the heat of your gaze. However, this gift requires discipline. Because your will is so strong, you can easily manifest disasters if you focus on fear or revenge. You have to be incredibly careful what you obsess over, because you will inevitably draw it into your lap. You are a magnet that is always on. We have arrived at the number one gift, the most secret and powerful ability you possess. This is the gift of the spiritual shield. You are the guardian of the zodiac. While you are often described as attacking or stinging, your true biological imperative is protection. You cast a massive, invisible dome of safety over the people you consider yours. If someone is part of your inner circle, your child, your partner, your best friend, they are walking around with a spiritual bodyguard that repels malice. You would lay down your life for them without a second thought, but it goes deeper than physical protection. You actively ward off bad luck and negative intentions directed at your tribe. You are the wolf standing at the edge of the clearing, watching the darkness so the sheep can sleep. This loyalty is absolute. In a world that is fickle, where people abandon each other when things get difficult, you stand as an unmovable object. The people you love feel a sense of safety around you that they cannot explain. They breathe easier when you are in the house. You absorb the blows that were meant for them. This is the ultimate expression of your power. Not the ability to destroy, but the capacity to preserve life against all odds. You must understand that these 10 gifts are not separate superpowers. They are all facets of the same diamond. The trauma you have endured, the secrets you have carried, and the losses you have survived were not punishments. They were the training ground. You cannot be a heavy lifter if you have never lifted heavy things. You have been forged in fire, so that you can walk through flames without burning. The world tries to tell you to be softer, to be lighter, to care less. They want you to dilute your wine with water so it is easier for them to drink. Do not do it. The world has enough shallow people. It has enough people who are afraid of the dark. We need you to stay exactly as you are. We need your depth because that is where the truth lives. We need your protection because the world is dangerous. We need your vision because we are blind to our own faults. It takes immense courage to walk this path. It is easier to be numb. It is easier to look away. But you chose a different assignment before you were even born. You chose the path of the alchemist. You agreed to take the lead into gold. Every time you feel overwhelmed by the emotions of others, remember that this is simply the weight of your tools. You are a master craftsman of the soul, and master craftsmen do not work with plastic tools. You work with the raw elements of existence: blood, bone, sex, death, and rebirth. I want to ask you something personal now. I want you to go down to the comments section and tell me about a time you knew something was going to happen before it did. Tell me about a time you felt that nausea when looking at a situation that everyone else thought was fine. Was it a job, a relationship, a bad investment? Share your story with us. Your comment might be the validation that someone else needs to read today to know they aren't crazy. We read these stories and we honor them. And if you are ready to understand how to turn this massive energy into financial abundance, how to stop just surviving and start building an empire, you need to click on the video that is on your screen right now. It contains the missing piece of the puzzle you have been looking for. Click it, and let's keep this conversation going.